Hey YouTube, Kevin Clear here with a knife video for you. I'm going to talk today about some lightweight knives, and the reason I am is because the weather is changing. You know, we're going to be done wearing the thicker, heavier pants, done wearing the sweaters and hoodies and coats, and hopefully before long we can wear shorts and t-shirts. I'm really crossing my fingers on that because this has been a really cold, dreary spring here in Meaford, so I'm hoping for some nice weather shortly. However, that presents a problem, right? Now we've got less pocket space, less ability to carry stuff, and we still want to do it. Okay, so the first thing I would say is you may want to get yourself a good belt and use some kind of belt mechanism. I'm not going to go the way of Nut and Fancy and suggest everyone carry a fanny pack. I just can't do it. I've looked even at the fanny pack that he recommends, and I'm like, sorry bro, can't do it. So we've got to find a way to get some stuff in our pockets, and so I want to share some blades with you today that I think, you know, are very capable. You're not giving up a lot of capability, but you're getting something very lightweight. And I will say this, I'm keeping all of the knives in this video to the above 3 inches, okay? If you go under 3 inches, if you start looking at like the Spyderco Native or the Cold Steel Tough Light, or, you know, there's tons of little blades out there that come in at like 2 ounces and stuff. The Flash 1, the Twitch, you know, the Leak, okay? All those knives are going to be super lightweight, but they're all too small for me. Okay, so I'm going to talk about knives where, hey, you're getting a lot of size and a lot of capability for a very lightweight. All right, so let's get started. I've said enough, and the first knife that I'm going to say, and this one is highly recommended, the Benchmade Griptilian. This knife weighs in at only 3 3/4 ounces, and yet you're still getting a full-size knife, very functional, very strong. They've done destruction tests on these. You can see them on YouTube, and they always do very, very well. Okay, so you're not sacrificing much by way of capability. You know, let's say you normally carry a Zero Tolerance or a Recon 1 or some other big heavy-duty folder, something from Cold Steel or something from, you know, maybe a Hest or a Lion Steel. Hey, great folders, super robust, super strong. You're giving up a little. I will say that you're giving up a little, but not much, and you're getting something for a very, very lightweight knife that you'll hardly even notice in your pocket. Okay. Let's see, next on the list, if you want something larger, maybe you need more reach, maybe you're doing a lot of food prep with your folding knife, maybe you do something that, you know, you want that extra ability to reach out and defend yourself. Spyderco Dura is a great option. There are other long Spydercos like this, the Police. I'm trying to think, there's one more that I just am blanking on right now. Oh, the Military, sorry. But anyway, Spyderco Dura is lighter than those. This thing weighs in again at only 3 3/4 ounces, 3.7, so it's a little lighter than the Griptilian. It does, and this is by the way, the stainless steel lined version. You could even go lighter than this with the lightweight. For me, that wasn't very appealing. I wanted the stainless steel liners. Anyway, very capable knife, very strong knife. You know, it's not going to match a Cold Steel or a Zero Tolerance in terms of strength, but it's quite capable and certainly worthy of your consideration if you're looking for a knife that will lighten your load a little bit. Okay, Spyderco Dura. Did I say the length on this? I should have, because that's a major factor. This thing is 8 3/4 inches, so it's way bigger. You know, the Griptilian is like just at 8 inches, so you're getting another 3/4 of an inch here for the same weight. Okay, now I would say the lock on the Griptilian is a little more robust than this. Let's see where. Oh yeah, next is a real standout in this category. This is the Cold Steel Holdout 2, and here you have a huge blade. This thing is massive, super capable, and very lightweight. Incredibly lightweight for what you're getting. This thing is 9 inches, and this is the biggest knife here, and it is the heaviest at 4 ounces. But consider, I just said the last 2 knives I showed you were only 1/4 of an ounce lighter than this. So that's pretty impressive as far as I'm concerned. All right, Cold Steel Holdout is a great blade, tons of capability, and if you need that extra capability, maybe you need a defensive knife, maybe you work in construction, maybe you do something that requires a really strong lock and a really robust folding knife, this is it, and it only weighs 4 ounces, okay? So excellent weight to size to ability ratio on the Cold Steel Holdout. As far as cold steel goes, this is the best as far as I'm concerned in their lineup. The Recon 1 does a good job in terms of that too, but it's like over 5 ounces. The Lawman weighs almost the same as the Recon 1, and it's much shorter. So anyway, just to give you some idea of where we are, none of those come in as light as this, and yet you've still got a very capable blade with the cold steel Holdout for very lightweight. Oh yeah, Manix 2 lightweight. Okay, no liners in here. It is extremely lightweight, but quite strong. You know, I've done quite a bit of cutting with this. I've cut wood, I've cut cardboard, and even after fairly hard pressure applied to this blade for a prolonged period of time, cutting, you know, multiple layers of cardboard and stuff, the lock is solid. There's no blade play of any kind. By the way, that's really important on these knives. My Native is like this as well. The construction that where you can't take it apart. And so if you can't take a knife apart, the company better make sure they get it right in terms of strength and precision, and this is excellent. Okay, so plus, by the way, this is 8 inches, so almost as big as the Griptilian, and yet only 3 ounces. I think this is nearly the lightest. It is the lightest that I'm going to show you. So very, very, you know, definitely a full-size folder, definitely full capability. Not as strong. You are giving up a little bit of strength because you don't have those stainless steel liners, and yes, could you break it? Could you damage it? Could you make the lock kind of loose or whatever? Sure, you could. You can do that with any knife, but you just need to know this is a great option for weight, and it is, as I say, full-size knife, but the lightest one that I'm showing you. 8 inches, 3 ounces. Excellent, excellent numbers on that. Next, I'm going to show you the SOG Flash 2. This is a very lightweight knife. It's just a little heavier than the Manix, almost the same size as well. Let's see. Yeah, basically exactly the same size. And the Aegis is just a little larger, but my Aegis I meant to bring with me this morning when I made to make this video, but I forgot it. So this is going to stand in as the lightweight EDC category for SOG. This thing is 3.1 ounces. The Aegis is 3.1 ounces. Now the Aegis is a little bit bigger. Okay, it's a full 8¼ inches, same size as the what other knife I showed you. Anyway, I haven't showed you one yet that's that size, but it's a little bigger than this. Okay. Anyway, both weigh 3.1 ounces. Both are around 8 inches. And so you're getting most of the capability that you want from your EDC in a very lightweight package. Now, as you know, I have issues with both this knife and the Aegis up and down blade play. And so I don't recommend them highly, but if you really like them and you can deal with the blade play, they are a very lightweight option, okay? By the way, I will give credit to SOG for doing a good job in terms of taking the knife, fixing it, and getting back to you. They don't even ask you to send them any money to send it back. They do that free of charge. But this one's got to go back to SOG. And if you wonder why you've seen this on camera but no review yet, it's because I keep going back and forth. Do I do the review first while there's blade play, or do I send it to SOG and then do the review? I haven't decided yet, so that's why you haven't seen any full-length video on this. But very lightweight knives. I think there's a few others that are in that sort of category, like the Trident. There's another one, the Flashback, I think. There's a few, you know, SOGs that have no liners, sort of reinforced plastic handles with this fake arc lock, and they're all generally very lightweight. Okay, now a budget-friendly knife. By the way, those are not overly expensive. I think you can find, if you shop around, you can find the Aegis for around 40 bucks US. You can find the Flash 2 for around 40 bucks US. Now, way cheaper than both of those, for about $20 to $22, is the Buck Vantage Select. Now, the Buck Vantage series, they are good knives. I really like this one, and I have thought a number of times about getting the upgraded version with the S30V blade steel. Haven't gotten around to it yet, but very lightweight option. I have used this before when I was going running or different things like that where I wanted a lightweight blade. This definitely fits the bill. This again is 3.5 ounces, so it's very lightweight. As I said, a little heavier than some of the other ones I've shown you, but you're getting a ton of capability, great little knife, very comfortable in hand, And for, you know, maybe you go, Kevin, I already carry a really nice knife that I like. I don't want to spend another, whatever, $100, $200 on a lightweight knife. Is there something cheap? Yeah, pick this thing up for like 20 bucks. Throw it in your pocket on the days when your outfit just doesn't allow for that big heavy blade that you really like to carry, okay? So SOG Vantage Select, great little blade. Did I say SOG? How about Buck Vantage Select? Let's see, next on the list is a knife I really love, and I've carried this a lot, okay? And you guys know I have some nice blades that I could carry that would certainly go well beyond this in terms of quality and price and pride of ownership and all that stuff. But this is such a cool little blade. This is the Kershaw Knockout. It's a sub-frame lock. Expect, again, I think I mentioned this once before, but you can expect a very positive review coming up on this. This knife only weighs 3.8 ounces, and it beats, although it's lighter, I mean heavier than a lot of these other blades. It's heavier than the Griptilian, it's heavier than the Endura, it's heavier than a lot of the knives here. It's thinner, and so it carries better than some of the larger knives because of that very, very thin profile. And I mean thin, thin, thin. So this is a great blade. Very, very good steel. I mean, I love the 14C28N. Great construction. Now, some people have complained about the lock bar being able to be slid over. I can't get mine to go over and fail the way they talked about. Or I guess it still doesn't fail. It's just a fit and finish issue, more or less. This is a great blade. Carries exceptionally well because it's super, super thin and not heavy at all. What else do we got? Oh, yes. Of course, one of the greatest knives on the market today, and part of that is because you're getting a very lightweight blade. This is the Paratus, as you know. This is the LMAX version in, I don't know, I would call this like olive drab, I guess. So Paratus is a great blade, super capable, super functional, and extremely lightweight at 3 3/4 ounces. Now at that weight, you're still getting an 8 1/4 inch knife that is very strong. The compression lock is a super, super strong lock just by its nature. Okay, the design of that lock is extremely great for strength and being a small size but very strong. Okay, so great blade. Highly recommend the Paramilitary 2, especially, and I would recommend this to anyone for any reason, not just for a lightweight knife. But it certainly fits this video as being very lightweight. And some of these where I said, hey, you're sacrificing a little bit of strength, you're sacrificing a little ability, you're not sacrificing anything with. I did want to make a couple of comments here quickly at the end to sort of wrap everything up and to point out that there are other ways to lighten your load that you're carrying. I've already done a review on the ThruNite TI3. This is a phenomenal EDC flashlight. Very small, very lightweight. You could go to something like this. It's one of these cheap keychain lights with a little button. This is one of the ones we had made up for the church here where I work. They're like very, very light, but they're not bright, they're not robust. You could easily break it. So be aware of that. Also, these little lighters, the mini lighters, are great. Now they don't have obviously as much fuel, but you can, you know, they're so cheap, like 25 cents each or something, that you could easily own a bunch of these. You know, buy 10 or 15 and put them anywhere you would want. And certainly as an EDC lighter, they're really good. And you can own enough of them that if one breaks or whatever, you can easily just switch it out. You can always make sure that you've got a good functioning lighter with you. Okay, so I say all that to point out that there are other ways as well that you can kind of get the things done that you need to get done. Keychain stuff, I'm not a big fan of, okay? My keys, I already feel like are too big, and it's mostly just with keys, you know? And in the summer, I often find myself wanting to pare even this down, and I'm already kind of thinking through in my head, what can I get rid of off of here? Because this is, for me as a keychain, is too big. I've got to carry less. This gets really, really annoying when you're carrying shorts, or when you're wearing shorts. But I do have a pry tool on here that's really handy. Of course, I've shown you before that I have a flash drive on here. So that's the other thing that I want to kind of mention is that there are a number of these options. There are keychain lighters, the little P lighters. There are keychain lights that are like the same size, super, super small. I think ThruNite probably makes one of those as well. Those options I personally stay away from because I can't stand all that crap on my keys, okay? I would maybe buy one and put it in my pocket. That would maybe be okay. Also, these mini multi-tools are great. And one thing that I haven't mentioned that I probably should have, you could, if you found just the perfect one for you, you could probably do like a multi-tool, maybe the Leatherman Skeletool or the Juice or something like that, where you've got now a blade as well as some other stuff, and that maybe cuts back on the stuff you have to carry. You know, is there something on a multi-tool that could serve as have a pry function? Sure there is. You know, so I could eliminate that off my keychain and use a multi-tool instead. Anyway, just some other ideas that I wanted to throw out there. That was all I wanted to say about that. By the way, all of the knives that I showed you are very lightweight, and overall, I recommend them with the qualification pertaining to those saws. I just had bad luck with the fake arc lock, okay? Otherwise, I recommend all those blades. I tried to point out when I didn't feel like they were sort of as strong and robust, but most of these blades, they're more than strong enough for any kind of use that you'd ever put a folding knife through. And maybe you'd want to consider, if you're trying to lighten things up, a small fixed blade like the SE Azula or the CRKT Minimalist or the Silent Soldier or one of those. They can also work, and of course you're getting extra durability then, extra toughness, because it's a fixed blade. There you go, guys. Talk to you later. Hope you enjoyed the video.